AI being such a hot topic, has been for the past 2 or 3 years, and isn't going to stop being a hot topic.
But in marketing, it does save time in most
it
respects,
does.
really, and it's really helped us, hasn't it?
It's a language model, not truly intelligent. And what I mean by that is it's producing what it thinks is the most relevant and right answer, not that it actually is. Why thinking creates prompting, not the other way around. Strong prompts come from strong thinking. AI doesn't replace strategy, it forces you to have one. Hello. Welcome back to Inside Digital. I nearly got our name wrong then. If you've not tuned in before, my name is Nick. I'm one of the project leads here at Tillison Consulting. On my left, I have Tom. He's been on many other episodes, but if you don't know, Tom is one of our campaign managers, but Tom is our CRO guru and one of our creative heads. So,
yes,
and we love you for it. But today we wanted to spend some time talking about AI. AI being such a hot topic, has been for the past 2 or 3 years, and isn't going to stop being a hot topic. We always find it really interesting to talk about because we get asked as an agency, how it's used and what it should be used for. And it's an interesting one because I think everyone's got a different answer, and within the whole AI bubble comes the opinions on if it's really good for us as humans. I know that's not really what we're going to tackle here. That's a bit more existential.
That's deep,
but really like the ethics around the practicality and whether you should or shouldn't. So we've got some talking points here, some questions to ask ourselves, and I think we're going to offer our perspective, as people who work on a range of different clients in varying sectors of business requirements, and really how like the everyday person can use it in a way that is actually useful is the main thing. A lot of people don't want to perpetuate this kind of like AI slop term that goes around.
It's getting a lot of bad press, isn't it, at the moment? More bad press than good press at the moment.
Sometimes deservedly.
But sometimes definitely.
It doesn't have to be all slop.
No.
You can actually use it for things that don't replace artists.
No, and we're quite lucky because working in digital marketing, we've both been in digital marketing for a while now, and it's more of an unforeseen... What's a good thing?
What's the word?
Unforeseen
benefit.
That's what.
Like a silver lining.
Almost, unforeseen benefit is that we have been able to use AI since the beginning. Sort of thing. So, say if you work in construction, you may not have used AI all the time, every single day. Whereas we've kind of grown up with it and lived with it and worked with it, and now we kind of are finding the best processes and testing the best processes every now and again when we can. And we are.
Exactly that. And I think before we even dive in, a really important distinction has to be made around what we really mean by AI. When we talk about AI, and what most people talk about when they say AI nowadays is generative AI. So your language models and stuff like that generate based on prompting. But the concept of artificial intelligence has been around for a very long time, and that's used in technology and has been for such a long time without scrutiny, without question on whether or not it should be used. But I think now that, at least in the public sphere, now that these language models are now accessible, people can get their hands on them, the ethics of what it should be used for and shouldn't have now really come into question.
Especially when they're getting smarter as well. We keep hearing they're getting smarter, and we obviously going to believe that. The media's telling them getting smarter, they are. I mean, every time we use them, we know that that's actually a better answer now than we got last time, sort of thing, on the last model. So it's evolving faster than probably we could say. It's a bit overwhelmingly fast, but that's a good thing at the same time, because it means we're able to learn quicker as well.
And the exactly that, and the accuracy of what it does, and what it can do improves from model to model, really. So
definitely.
Let's dive in, really. So I think the first thing really is talking about where AI actually saves time. One thing we've got on our footnote here is that AI is powerful at execution acceleration, but poor at direction. It speeds up systems and magnifies bad ones. And I think this is a pretty true statement, in that fundamentally, to get something good from a language model, generative AI, ChatGPT, you have to know how to communicate to it and use it in the right way, really. I think some people get into the headspace that they can just chuck in a really quick sentence, have it develop something really complex and expect it to be the working solution to their problem, and it really isn't.
That's so true.
The overall mantra here is, well, at least at Tillison, let's say, is really to adopt its usage as it being an assistant and a tool, and not to replace your full-on thinking and everything that you're doing.
Well, you're a specialist in your own field.
Yeah.
And I've got into construction. If a construction worker would type in, I want to be a digital marketer, and then AI just spat out that, and be like, great, now I know what to do.
Yeah.
That's not true, because you already have that knowledge in your head from your career, your previous knowledge and stuff like that. You're just, as I said, it's giving it direction.
Exactly.
You just need to give AI direction to what you want it to do.
Yeah,
and
precisely.
a lot of people these days trust AI probably more than
they
need to.
Yeah. And where it saves time, I think, is a really good one, because the number one thing I find the most useful in my day-to-day work is with the data analysis part of that, the number side of thing. And because that in itself, a language model can process that and give you a fairly accurate answer far quicker than the average human can. Now, there are people who are incredibly good at maths.
Yes, that's it.
I'm not one of them, which is why I do marketing.
I'll join you with that one,
Yeah. So being able to kind of interpret sales data and derive like genuine trends and top performers within that, and, you know, trends in sort of seasonal behavior and stuff kind of reasonably quickly is incredibly powerful, and it's something that we weren't able to do in the past. It was something that would have taken
a lot of time.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of time, and that's really where it speeds it up, you know, being able to give it a full dashboard of analytics data. And
that's not saying that you feed it the data, it gives you the answer, and then you send the answer to a client.
No, absolutely
you have to
not.
Then look at the data, actually take it in yourself, and then do what you need to do with it as a specialist to continue, other than AI's done the work for you.
Exactly. Yeah. You can't let
That's
it.
Not the case here. No.
It's. I think, you know, this might be my own opinion coming into it a bit too much, but it's making sure that, you know, the output you get from ChatGPT is something that you would be happy using and associating with, and that, you know, to be correct, you really always have to be vetting the output. And as long as it's not fully replacing your thinking, kind of ironic how I said, oh, it's done all the maths for me, but like we could do that maths, it would just take a very long time.
Take long, exactly.
As long as it's not replacing your whole thinking and what you're like capable of, and as long as you're learning from that output, I think there's a healthy usage there.
Yeah, 100%.
But that is where that time saving is really good. And I think for all things kind of monotonous, that not that you might be too good for a certain bit of work, but if it is just a case of, I need you to populate this data entry XXX amounts of times, and if you were to do that in a spreadsheet, it would take you an hour, whereas if you've just got a ready-made output from there, that's numerical from ChatGPT within 10 seconds, you know, it's hard not to embrace that.
Yeah, exactly.
When we've all got very busy working lives, you know, everyone's jobs are busy, you know, being able to save those seconds, I think, really makes a difference.
Really does, yeah. So I wouldn't shy away from using it for analysis, because it's 100% just a helpful tool these days to you. I say that a lot. AI is definitely a good tool to have. It's just a part of your arsenal these days, and I think it needs to be, especially for that sort of thing anyway. And many things as well, other especially within marketing.
It is that really handy assistant. And a second point here, why AI exposes weak strategy fast. Ooh, this is a mean one. Without clear goals, constraints, and measurement, AI produces volume, not value. Weak strategy becomes obvious very quickly. And I think that really ties into our previous point around, if you don't know what you're doing and you give it to ChatGPT and say, work with that, it's probably not going to be what you want, because one, it's not always correct. It's a language model, not truly intelligent. And what I mean by that is, it's producing what it thinks is the most relevant and right answer, not that it actually is. And it will make assumptions and interpretations that just aren't true. Sometimes you do genuinely need to prompt where you don't know, where it's not obvious how accurate the data is from the output of it, or how it's jumped to that conclusion. You do have to question it sometimes and say, are you making assumptions
Where
here?
did you get information
from? Sometimes I've actually said before, are you lying to me? Which makes me feel really mean. But it will fill the gaps, because there is a bias, actually. ChatGPT wants you to use it because it is a product, and I think people need to remember that.
And that's where the volume not value, it's just going to spit out as much as possible to give you, oh my god, there's so much here, this is great information, but it could be completely useless.
It can be.
The value could not be there.
And OpenAI have become very sneaky in the slight tweaks they make to each model to make it to make you want to use it even more. The voice chat function, which is actually brilliant. It's by default will try and kind of strike more of a rapport with you and ask you more questions to build on what you're already asking, so that you're then kind of in like a full conversation with it, unless you kind of cut it short and say, I don't want to talk to you, go away.
We are still in control.
Exactly. Go away, robot. But there is that bias as well, where it will have its own what am I trying to say here? It will have its own goals in kind of how quickly it can generate a response for you, and stuff like that. So you do need to be really careful at all points in when you're using it, that the output is actually right, and that it's not just giving you what it assumes to be the right thing.
That's it.
Because sometimes it just can't. If you're operating in in a really, really niche kind of sector, and you're working with data that there isn't much publicly available information on, you're not going to get accurate results. Because it's learned from what's publicly available.
And what you're giving it as well. Obviously, we know ChatGPT learn, if you use it day after day after day, it learns from the chats you've given it. So you might we have a team account here that is learning digital marketing jargon that we're using all the time. So it knows about our things, but it only knows about those things. So if we went to another, say, complete other niche, it would have no idea about what it would know from the internet probably, and whatever it's learning from. But nothing to that niche at all. So you've got to take it with a pinch of salt most of the time, haven't you, really?
Exactly.
Even how strong it is, that will help powerful and better it is these days. It's not. It's always going to get better, obviously, but it's just not going to be as good as you as a specialist, really.
100%.
You're going to know more, you're going to think more.
And I think with sort of weak strategy, there are some ways you can kind of not train it. Training might be the right word. There are ways you can work with it to give you the output that is better suited to you. So if you need something like strategy based, or you need ideas from it about what you should do with X, Y, and Z, I find a really useful thing to do is to say to it, ask me any and all questions you need to give like the most accurate answer. And then it will often give you 50 different questions. All really good questions, to be fair. And that's how you refine that further, because otherwise you're just going to get a very short answer and you'll call it a day and think, that's great, awesome, let's pitch it and sell it. But it will probably end up being not great. But if you can refine it and eliminate that, take the weak parts of your thinking and what you don't know, and get it to ask you the questions to help it come to that conclusion a bit more accurately.
Definitely.
That's a good way of overcoming that, I think.
I think it brings us to the next point as well, where it actually does, so where AI genuinely adds value in practice. So we are using it all the time because we need to. That is the way the world is at the moment. You just need to use
other
AI.
agencies will be doing the same.
Imagery, video, for text, everything. You have to keep, not that we're using it for everything, but we are using it in practice to make our lives better. But there are ways of using it to provide actual value, aren't there? And we've got a few here, actually. One of them is drafting ad variations or ad copy, not the actual ad copy itself, but drafting it. because obviously you need to know your audience, you need to know exactly where that ad copy is going and who it's going to resonate with. And AI doesn't know that.
It won't.
Well, if you train it, maybe, but unfortunately, you know that. So drafting it is great because it gives you ideas. It gives you better ways of phrasing things, maybe. It keeps you within the character limit, which is sometimes really helpful.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that is really helpful. But yeah, it's good at giving you ideas mainly, isn't it? Because then you can work with that and then work with it if you want to come up with the best ad copy possible for your audience.
Yeah, 100%. And building on that, if you're getting it to create copy or something similar to that, it's really handy just to get a first version, even if that doesn't end up being the public facing thing, because it shouldn't be. It's just nice to have that all there, and then you as the human can interpret that and chop and change the parts from it that you like, and then ultimately make something that's more in line with your vision.
I always go to it like, right, I know with a mindset of I'm not going to use this. I can't use this first version. Obviously, I can't with AI.
Yeah.
But I just know for a fact I won't be using. I'm only using it for ideas and then picking bits and bobs from it and then go from there. Really.
Yeah.
Not every single time. I can steal copyright sometimes, but AI is helpful for there to obviously give you ideas.
It's in a way that it speeds up the process of what you'd be doing otherwise. In that you should do this anyway, from what I'm about to say, but. If you were creating copy and you needed inspiration, you would just be going to the internet, finding competitors or kind of leaders in your space and thinking, well, I like how they've done that. Maybe we can learn something from that and something. But, with the right prompting, AI kind of synthesizes that for you and ultimately cuts down that time. And really where that helps marketers and where that drives actual value is speeding up the things that are holding you up from generating better results. Think of it as your way of shortcutting your way to making more money, putting it in crude terms.
That's what it is, isn't it? Because you're saving time at the end of the day. Well, another one is it's a big one for me actually, when I sort of the CRO side of things. So stress testing CRO hypotheses. Hypotheses. So obviously CRO is about landing pages and making them convert as best as possible. These days you can give AI a URL. It can ask it to analyze this page and sort of it gives you good recommendations. From my knowledge or from my expertise, they are the same sort of recommendations that I probably would give anyway, the basic stuff. But you can ask it to go further into it, and it's good to have, because then I sort of work with it to is this a good option? Is this a bit of a bad option? Could you do this? Could you do that sort of thing? It's quite helpful as kind of like a second man, just sort of sitting there with you, looking at the website, seeing what ideas it could come up with. And sometimes it does throw things at you which you wouldn't have thought of, because it is obviously trained itself in a way on other websites of what works well, what converts well. Probably on its own website as well. It just shove a search bar in the middle of it. That'd be fine for every website. But so it is helpful for that sort of side of things to analyze websites of what you could be doing or what your competitors are doing that you could be doing better, which is helpful.
And for the big thing really is as well for the admin-y stuff that otherwise takes up time. I think data verification is really handy as well. If you're a marketer, you're obviously in and out of spreadsheets most of the day. It's not really what we want, but we play the game that we have to. But if you're not sure on the sort of quality of what's in the sheet, like in a Google Sheet or Google Doc, what's the Excel version of Google Sheets?
Google Sheets?
No.
It's just
Excel. It's just Excel.
Just Excel. Excel is Microsoft.
My brain is meshed. If you have something you need to standardize within those, giving the table to AI can just make that process really a lot easier. Say if you've got a contact list of first names, last names, emails, but for whatever reason you want to standardize it so that all of the first names only appear as that the first letter's in uppercase, the rest is in lowercase, as it should. You can go, can you just clean those up? And then bang, it's done. And that's the stuff, like I say, that gets in the way of you going back and doing the stuff you really want to be doing. Because if you're in email marketing, that stuff is important. making sure that data is really clean and as it can be, incredibly powerful for that.
So you can use it as sort of admin in a way. AI is admin, which is helpful, isn't it? It saves you time. And eventually you can get, if it's for email, you can get more emails out way quicker. So that's just really helpful.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't shy away from there, not at all.
No, exactly that.
Massive value.
And why? I think we've sort of answered this kind of thing already, really. But why thinking creates prompting, not the other way around? Strong prompts come from strong thinking. AI doesn't replace strategy; it forces you to have one. Yeah, and like I said, it's what we said before. It's you yourself are in charge of it and have to know what you're asking for and what sort of language a language model ironically responds well to. If you're smart about the information you give it as much context and information as possible, the accuracy and quality of the output you're going to get is inevitably going to be better. So you do have to do that thinking when it comes to the prompting. It's not this silver bullet solution to all of your marketing problems that you only need to like just throw a couple lines in and go, I'll just do that, and then hopefully that solves it. It's not what it is.
Nowhere near. And the more you use it, the better it's going to get, because it's going to learn from you. I mean, we've talked a lot about ChatGPT with this one, but there are obviously other models out there like Claude, like Gemini, which will give you different answers to the same question or same prompt, which can be frustrating and tricky. And that's where a level of trust comes into it, I think.
It does.
Like for me, I don't even know why, but I trust ChatGPT more. I can't say I trust AI, but I trust it more than other models because one, I use it more, one, it knows me more. That's terrifying. And two, and three, it's just I've had better experience with it. I think that's my main thing.
Do you know what?
I am under his thumb right now.
Really, this is off topic. One really scary thing you can ask it is like, what do you know about me? Give me everything you might know about me. And if you've used it on the same account and use it in your personal life to just Google random things or stuff like that, you get it to just list everything. You're like, oh no.
What have I done? What have I given it?
It's like...
And everyone's guilty for it. I mean, even my mum now uses it and just for everyday things. It's just like, well, you might as well, because it's right there. It's right at your fingertips, so why not? My watch, I'm going on me now, but I hold the button, Gemini appears. So it's all available to me. It's just on my phone it's ChatGPT, on my watch it's Gemini. So which one do I choose and when, and what's going to be better? What will give me a right answer? What's even that?
Brilliant.
I don't know.
It's hard, so funny. My mum, in her 50s, sorry mum, has like a ChatGPT paid subscription, and she just generates photos of like different versions of like her cats in different art styles and like, what if take this photo of my husband but put 10 cats on his head because it's funny. She just uses it for stuff like that.
Jesus. I mean, my wife recently has been taking photos of the different rooms and just like make this better or look better, like interior design, and it comes up with stuff like I wish I could live there right now sort of thing. It's doing really well. It's giving her a lot of ideas and expensive ideas, because it's like, you can buy this and this, here. Don't do that, please don't do that. That's horrendous. Don't do that, please. But
you see your IKEA sofa, it'd be really nice if you had a $5,000 sofa.
Why is that wall gone? Do we have to remove that wall from now? What's that so insane?
Hope that wall's not load bearing. Because you need to knock it down.
But I mean, it gives people ideas, doesn't it? And it helps people visualize things. And I don't know, in that respect, it doesn't really save time, but in marketing, it does save time in most respects, really. And it's really helped us, hasn't it? In the last 3 years, that's it. 3 years of it being alive and AI live. And it's crazy. Because it's just super helpful. I can't really picture us not using it now, or a time without it in a way. Not that we're saying we're dependent on it, because we're not. We just use it as it's now a tool in our arsenal, isn't it?
I think a lot of people would miss it.
Oh yeah, 100%. And it is mostly helpful. It's a love-hate relationship, like a lot of things these days, and AI is going to stay there. It's not going anywhere. It's going to stay love-hate, and I think these days you have to embrace it. It's not going anywhere, as you said. So I know in some respects, I think if you're watching this, you're likely using it. I would, because in some respects you won't need to use it.
No.
But then my mum works as a nurse. She's using it, and not for nurse stuff. It's just literally just for her everyday life. You don't even need to be in a digital space to use AI these days.
Exactly, and that's why I said at the beginning. It's so important to not just say that all AI is bad, because that's not true. AI has been used really good example in the medical field for ages to advanced medicine study in actual, software and application for medicine. So, there is that angle of it. I think a lot of the general public, their anger is in generative AI replacing art. And,
that's a lot of that.
There's a fair
and stealing it,
around
stuff like that. Stealing it is what we're saying. Yeah,
precisely.
And that's the same thing with copy as well. I mean, it's obviously getting it from somewhere. As people use it more, it's getting it from the people using it. But to begin with, it was having to get it from the internet, which was technically...
Until the internet is all AI generated and it just learns from itself.
Yes.
In like an Aurora Boreas type thing.
Get ready for that feedback loop. It's coming fast, like a tsunami. But
anyway, we have fun with it. But no, I think just to summarize everything we're talking about then, so really important to use this kind of AI as a tool and assistant, and not consider it to be a quick and silver bullet solution to everything, because it really isn't that.
No.
You have to be smart with your prompting. The more information and the more context you can give it is really useful. Get it to ask you questions so it can give you a more accurate answer. But always really vet what you're getting back. Make sure that you're happy with the output. Make sure it's actually correct, because it will lie to you and it will hallucinate and it will make assumptions, and those assumptions aren't correct because it wants you to use it.
That's it. It's about volume, it's about value, not volume. That's what it is. And volume's going to make you stay. Value is what you actually need. So
exactly. Yeah, well put.
But
anyway, that's our whistle stop chat. That doesn't make sense as a phrase, but I'm coining it.
AI stop chat.
It could have done.
Yeah, it could have done.
But that was just a quick chat about AI. But thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.